What's up, everybody? It's Joe from Empire Music, empiremusic.com in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're one of only 20 Martin custom shop expert dealers worldwide and one of only 5 Martin preferred online partners. So that means we bring you the greatest Martin guitars every day, like this amazing new Empire Music Spec custom shop guitar. You can find it at empiremusic.com. You can see our entire selection of Martin guitars there, professional photos of every single one, actual visuals, what they're going to look like when they get them in your house, by serial number, never a stock photo. And remember, we always do a full pro setup before we ship to you. What does that mean? Well, you pick it up in store, we ship it to you like Martin would hand the guitar. If a touring artist walked into Martin today and said, I have a show tonight, how are they going to dial the guitar in? That's what we're doing for you. You know, we always want your trade-ins. Hit the trade-in portal at empiremusic.com. We don't carry a ton of brands, but we carry them super deep. So when you come to look for a Martin guitar, we're going to get you not only a great one, because they make lots of great guitars, we're going to get you the right guitar, and we're going to dial it in to make it perfect for you. We're really excited about that. We're really excited about this. Only a 2-piece run, 2 units of the Martin Custom Shop 0028 Modern Deluxe with Cocobolo back and sides, our spec from our wood locker, our friends at Martin Guitars. So you know the drill, right? We do tons of stuff at the Custom Shop at Martin. They allow us to pile through their wood locker, find the greatest woods that we are after, and then sort them. And this is really important. I'll just hammer this home all the time, because the most important part about this is that the wood selection from first Martin, they're selecting the world's best tone woods, their legendary wood library. It's second to none. And they sort them by the size of the guitar it can be, and then we go through and pick the ones that we feel will give us the best result. So sometimes we find 2 great pieces for a 0028 Modern Deluxe. Sometimes we find 10 or 20 of something. In this instance, we loved 2 with the correct flex and feel and power that we're looking for to give you the best outcome. And Modern Deluxe guitars are really cool. Cocobolo is amazing. It obviously is visually tasty. It's just like, there it is. Not the best angle for you, but Brent's going to put some sweet pictures up for us. Absolutely gorgeous tone wood from Central America that runs from kind of southern Mexico to Panama, a really small section of the world where Cocobolo comes from. It's in the rosewood family, which we'll get into more importantly. But really, to the 2-piece thing, why we did 2, and we did 8 dreadnoughts. Okay, so we liked 8 dreadnoughts. We did 2 O's, which is not a statement about how much we think one would sell than the other. It's just really about, again, the woods we were excited about, the specific sets of wood. Is that Cocobolo trees grow about 80 feet high, which is pretty awesome. However, they grow about 2 feet wide. So a very difficult yield when you're milling this wood. There's not a ton of yield. Really hard to work with because it's a little bit more dense. It's a dense tone wood, which we're going to get to in a little bit. Don't use that as a negative. We're going to tell you why density, the denseness of a wood can be an opportunity or an obstacle. But it's oily, and it being more dense, you have more risk for what they call fallout. When they're bending the sides, it can crack. So really handling these woods and sorting them properly is paramount. And we've done the heavy lifting there. So Cocobolo is kind of in that, it's not kind of, it's in the Brazilian rosewood and East Indian rosewood family broadly. And you kind of get the characteristics of Brazilian that you're after, the separation, the sustain, the power that maybe East Indian doesn't have as much of, but you get that thump of the bottom end of the East Indian, which a lot of people like. And that's why it's an exciting tone wood to work with, because I think a lot of times when people come to the shop and they say, hey, I want a bassy guitar, they mean a warm guitar. We've all played guitars that have a lot of bass, but when we strum an open G chord, the top end is like kind of shrill, or it feels that way to us. And like, wait a second, this guitar is bright. Well, bassy and bright or bassy and warm are not interchangeable, right, or necessarily comparable. Bass is measurable. How much bass or treble something has is absolutely measurable. How much warmth something has is subjective. We kind of all know we're looking for a fullness, right? And you get an amazing amount of fullness out of the Cocobolo, but inside a Modern Deluxe package, which we've never done Modern Deluxe customs before. I'm stoked. I don't know why we haven't until now, because now that the guitars are here, a year after picking the woods, man, it's just like we should have been doing this all along. What is a Modern Deluxe guitar? Well, it's got essentially a suite of features that make it unique to Martin's line. First, it's a premium Sitka Spruce top with VTS, vintage tone system, which means torrefied. It's a baked top. So you get not only this gorgeous caramely look to it, which is, yes, lovely, But what does it do sonically? They're slow baking this top, wicking the minerals, wicking the moisture content, and giving us more of a composition of a vintage top. Why does that matter? As tops age, they become more interesting, more powerful, more woody, more overtones. All those good things you want out of a vintage guitar without any of the headaches of the vintage guitars. We all think vintage guitars are great until we get them in our hands and they're just structurally a problem, right? So you get that kind of, that response that you'd expect to experience in a vintage guitar. You get that there. Next, they have Adirondack VTS braces in the Golden Era package, 1/4 inch scalloped on this guitar, used and applied. Those braces are applied with protein glue, hide glue, an organic glue, super thin, creating the most touch to the top. Why does that matter? The top of the guitar is brace, along with the rest of the skeleton, all the kerfing and all the back braces, all together. The more touch points, the tighter that is, that skeleton, being a better frame, is going to allow the guitar to sound better. It's going to create more power, more overtones, more output. Essentially, all we're doing when we strum a guitar is create the top to move, right? And the top vibrates. And when that top is vibrating, there it goes. It pushes that air in and out. Well, the tighter and the better fit the bracing is, gives us a more profound output. This is where specs don't matter, because we can say a guitar has a spruce top and Cocobolo back and sides, and you can read about 3 guitars that have spruce tops and Cocobolo sides at all different price points. Well, how is that possible? And when you look online at different sites, some sites make it feel like every guitar is the greatest guitar that's ever been invented. So you look at a $400 guitar, it's spruce and Cocobolo, and it's solid spruce, and it's Cocobolo, and it's the same as this guitar here. Understand the bracing, what's inside the guitar, the wood sort, all the things that happen before a guitar is in your hands that you can't see is the difference, right? You know what I mean? It's just like what's going on here is the smallest team in Martin's custom shop is building this guitar, the most experienced builders. Hide glue is very narrow, very hard, to work with. So a small group of people. Cocobolo, it's an oily wood. It's hard to work with. Again, you're getting the best builders in the world doing this using the best materials. Additionally, you have these extra factors that you can consider with Modern Deluxe. You have obviously ebony fingerboard and bridge, which is standard on modern guitars. We have a carbon fiber bridge plate underneath that will last for eternity, basically. You have liquid metal bridge pins, more output. You have gorgeous European flame maple binding, which is every piece of the guitar makes a difference in the sound and in the body there. But I mean, the visual is really impactful here too. My favorite part about the feel of the guitar is we have this asymmetrical neck. What's that mean? So it's not a V neck, but it's essentially the center point of the neck is just shoved up a tick toward the bass side. So you have a natural shelf here for your thumb to rest on. Really, really comfortable, and players love it. You obviously have the gold Evo frets. You have the Waverly tuners. You have the lighter weight truss rod, all coming together. Ultimately, it's the sum of these parts with the best materials, premium Sitka Spruce, the hand sorted Cocobolo back and sides, the Adirondack bracing. All these things lead to this like really incredible end result when in the right hands. Now the density of Cocobolo, this always comes up. A dense wood, you think, oh, it's going to be quiet, it's going to be heavy. Well, it's going to be heavier than the same thickness. It's going to be heavier than a wood that was less dense for sure. But the density allows for the opportunity to get more note separation, more initial power, more sustain, and Cocobolo has all those things. If you could take kind of like the menu, Cocobolo is like you have incredible, the note separation is amazing, the overtones are amazing, but you get the throatiness and fullness still of an East Indian rosewood. It's really good. Now, if it's cut too thick, it's not properly braced, yeah, it'll sound like somebody stuffed a wet blanket inside your guitar. But that's why we have Martin do it, because they really, really, really know what they're doing. We really believe in the building that's happening out in our home state of Pennsylvania at the Martin factory. So really incredible instruments, super easy to play, very comfortable, and just sounds amazing. So if you watch my videos, I like to do dynamic range, and I like to do note separation through the mids, right? The mids, how the mids sound, the mids announced and heard. And for a triple O body shape, this guitar's got plenty of output. It sounds amazing. I mean, it's just like you're gonna hear the mids, but let's just check it out and see what you think. mids are great. I mean, a lot of balance. Triple O's allow for that. The Adirondack bracing gives you this power. Adirondack bracing is like a trampoline to the top. It pushes all the sound out, makes it get to its best sonic experience really fast with light attack. Well, strumming this guitar made me think of like 4 woods. It kind of is like if you took walnut, mahogany, East Indian rosewood, and Brazilian rosewood and threw them in a blender. And it's like, that might sound confusing. If you ever play like a walnut guitar, walnut's kind of got this, it takes rosewood's warmth and it evens out the mids, but it's sludgy, right? It's like a little sludgier, right? It's just like, it makes the guitar more balanced and more fat sounding. So you take that, then you take the East Indian rosewood part where you get that sparkle back on top, you get the clarity in that top end. But then you take the fact that it's got Brazilian, right? The Brazilian would be the thump on that bottom end, the top end sparkle, but in control and a lot of note definition. Then you take the overall roundness of mahogany top to bottom. And that's my favorite part about these guitars. The Dreadnought has the same characteristic. It's like, we get so many people say they want warm guitars, and like I said, they play a D28, it's super bassy, or a triple 28's got the bass that's jangly up top. This guitar's got this fatness that's really, really elevated all the way top to bottom, but you get the note separation that the Cocobolo provides, which is amazing, because usually we could choose really warm, we can choose really bassy, you can choose really clear, but as you know, you can have anything, you just can't have everything. And Cocobolo kind of gives you that great mix of everything in that scenario. It's giving you the note separation, it doesn't make you sound like you're playing all soupy, but it gives you the fatness that you're after. It gives you output, gives you note separation, it gives us definition, and we're really in control of our playing experience at that point. It's just amazing. It's a 0028 Modern Deluxe with Cocobolo back and sides from the Martin Custom Shop, our spec here at Empire Music, from our woodlocker, handpicked. I'm at the factory more than they probably like 5-6 times a year. A family out in Eastern Pennsylvania, we're there all the time. Checking in on our builds, checking in on our woodlocker, hand selecting instruments. Go to empiremusic.com, see our entire selection of Martin Custom Shop guitars. Anything Martin, you know we dialed them in with a full pro setup. You know we have a huge selection, so we're gonna get you a right guitar. We're happy to work with you on your trade, and we love used guitars. Hit us up on our trade-in portal, tell us what used guitars you have to help you get this guitar or anything else in our collection. We're excited to work with you. Chat with us on the site. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't. Just call us at the shop, 412-343-5299. We'd love to find a great guitar for you that fits all your wants and needs. Get you hooked up with a great Martin guitar. I'm Joe from Empire Music. This is the Custom Shop Martin 0028 Modern Deluxe with Cocobolo back and sides with Empire Music Spec. Thanks so much for watching.